Okay, let's do our happy birthday to the happy birthday girl. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy
birthday.
birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Woo, we are so off key, y'all, every one of us. Happy birthday, Jar.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
How does it feel to be 30 again?
Well, since I've never got past 29, like
There
29
you
years ago.
go.
I feel pretty good.
Forever, I would tell everyone, oh, I'm just 21 again.
Well, we say 30th anniversary, or 30th annual 30th birthday.
There you go.
Right.
So let's heat up the chat. I think I have the birthday background in there for everyone that's came in. And
If
I'll
it's
be
fair.
walking the screen for others because we're missing 4 others. But as you know, things come up. This is Throwback Thursday. I love Throwback
Yay.
Thursday. So we are going to heat up the chat with what is only one thing. Only one thing. How can we help you today? Today. Are you looking for one more order to fill your middle of the month up? Do you need a Google review? Do you need a YouTube something done over there? Do you need something done in Facebook or LinkedIn? One thing, only one. Referral for my new business. Okay. Can you put in where you want the referral at? Only one place, Abby. Where do you want that referral? Are we putting it in LinkedIn? Are we sending you a testimonial? Just put it in the comments. And then that way we can take care of that for you. All right. So referral for my new business for Abby. realtydatanexus.com. All right. Tamara, Facebook group. I'm guessing you need a referral or a testimonial for Facebook. Is that right? Or do you need people to join the group? Whatever it is, put it in there, please. All right. Just one thing. And then we're going to go ahead and start our 1-minute introduction. No selling, just 1-minute introduction. All right. Make it flawless as you can. And we are going to start with, Denyse, let's start with you.
I'm sorry. My name is Denyse Turner, and I'm a mental health strategist, and my focus is on trauma. So I do a lot to look at the gaps in the mental health services, service people who have not been serviced, and to advocate on their behalf. Thank you.
Oh, that is awesome, Denyse. Woohoo! We do need more and more services for mental health for sure. It gets overlooked so much. And it's such a critical thing. You know, it's like if we get a broken arm, we go to the hospital, we get it fixed. But if there's something wrong with us mentally, it's, oh, it'll wait, or no, there's nothing wrong with me, it's fine. So next we will go to Trisha, and then we will go to Abby.
Well, let's just keep the mental health thing going. Yeah. You know, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm very passionate about what I've been lately referring to as psychonutrition, because there is that piece when we're doing mental health work, but also, you know, when we put down the bottle, if it's addiction or whatever, right? So in that process, whenever we're recovering from whatever it is, anxiety, depression, etc., our gut, heart, brain axis all needs healing and work also. So, you know, I've really been leaning into that a lot lately, and helping people figure out what, you know, how they can actually go beyond just focusing on mindset, right? Like they get burned out from always looking at, you know, like I'm doing all the things and da 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 da. And there's usually blocks in there when it comes to dietary practices, supplementation, etc. So healing the entire thing.
That's awesome, Trisha.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, yes.
I'm still
absolutely.
waking up, guys.
And you know what? If you go and read Trisha's post, you will learn probably so much more than you ever thought
The
you would.
LinkedIn newsletter has been great.
Yes. And we when I go over and read her post and really read it, I've never had an alcohol issue, but I've had other mental something going on my whole life. And I never knew that some things would affect my heart just because of some other things, or my liver just because of something else. Yes, did I know alcohol affected your liver? Yes, but there's so many more things that affect your
Did
liver.
you know it infuses your blood with fat?
No,
Ew.
not until I read your post. I just never knew. And it's amazing when you really go read a post and stop scrolling what you may learn. And it's like, wow, I had no idea. It's all tied together.
So many people are like, what? And they're like working on their diet and their fitness and everything because it's like all summer and then they're out drinking. And I'm like, yeah, you're just putting fat back in your body.
Exactly.
Way to go. That's working. Right.
Right. So now we will go to Abby, and then we're going to go to Jen.
Hello, everyone. My new business is Realty Data Nexus, is illuminating real estate with data-driven insights. We harness the power of localized market knowledge to equip real estate investors with invaluable insights. Our data-driven approach allows you to pinpoint investment opportunities and perfect much of your criteria. With a passion for creating space and inspire, our comprehensive suite of professional services cater to a diverse clientele ranging from homeowners seeking their dream abode to commercial developers re-imaging the urban landscape. Thank you.
Wow. Is that the first time you went through that, Abby?
Yes.
But you know
Brand
what?
new.
It wasn't bad. It was not that bad. You can tell you were reading it, but you had all the crucial information. I never knew that there was a such thing. So this is all new to me. Realty Data Nexus. Have I heard of Nexus? Absolutely, but not Realty Data. So I'm excited to learn more about that. All right, let's go to Jen, and then let's go to Grace.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Falloon with Vorsa Investments, and we give busy professionals the opportunity to own real estate without being the landlord. We rescue them from the volatile stock market and put them on a smooth racetrack to consistent passive income, commission-free, large tax breaks, and significant back-end payouts. So are you working hard for your money, or is your money working hard for you?
Woohoo, yes.
Woohoo!
Grace, and then we are going to go to Kelly.
I was listening to Dr. Bob on Tuesday evening, and he had 13 points to speak about, and one of them was brain health, which affects your mental health. And yes, it does bring together your gut, your heart, and your brain. And this is what the products that we promote do, because there is more than one product. There's more than just the coffee. And when you put them together, you get gut health, heart health, and brain health. This has helped a lot of people. So I just want to say that.
Awesome, Grace. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Next, we have Kelly, and then we have Dar.
Hi, everybody. Right, I'm not supposed to say my name, sorry. I guide people through a dynamic program focused on personal growth and financial education. By investing in themselves with unique products, members can not only expand their knowledge through digital courses like Canva, but also have an opportunity to significantly increase their initial investment.
Awesome. I love it, Kelly. It's all coming together for you, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
So well every time you do it. All right, we're going to Dar and then Tamara.
I specialize in designing unique custom greeting cards you won't find in any big box or dollar store. Power of a personalized card just really makes someone's day. So if this sounds like anything you're looking for, that's something fun and different in a greeting card to make your loved ones feel all warm and fuzzy inside, just visit my website, darscreativecards.ca, to learn more about my collection and how you can place your order to get yours today. Let's make every moment count with a touch of uniqueness and delight. Thank you for considering my works of art.
Awesome, Dar. Love how you switched that up.
Oh, well, thank you.
Beautiful.
Just a quick word. Because of what I want today, Google review goes just to the Google page. And to get to me, you just have to type in my business name, Dar's Creative Cards, and it'll be right on the very top underneath.
Perfect. Perfect.
Sorry about that.
Nope,
Abby's
you're
going to correct that as soon as she can.
Okay, perfect. All right, Tamara, come on down.
Good morning. I created a program directly for women over 50 who are feeling lost and unsure after a major life event, such as divorce, career change, or even the death of a loved one. This program helps rediscover your purpose, reignites your motivation so that you can start thriving in your life again. So I help find your clarity and direction so you can start thriving again.
Beautiful. I love that.
Awesome.
You did that so well. I love it. I love it. All right, everyone. Did we get everyone except for me? I think so. As the host of Networking Expert, I coach, teach, and speak to help entrepreneurs and business owners to elevate their game. I guide them to set their next big goal, make strategic moves, and put more money in your pocket. I'm a business builder who empowers others to grow themselves and their businesses from mastering essential business skills, as well as networking, connecting, and collaborating. Thank you so much. All right, that was a new intro for me because I'm trying to switch it up like we all should, from time to time. So yes. All right, so with all of that said, we are going to move right in with our special speaker today, Denyse Turner. And she is speaking on Echoes of the Past because it is Throwback Thursday. Denyse, take it away.
Okay, so I'm having technical challenges, but here it goes. Since it is Throwback Thursday, I thought that I would speak a little bit about generational and intergenerational trauma. Because a lot of times, we suffer from things that have been in our past, and we don't even know that we are experiencing emotions and we don't know where they come from. So I want to just tell you a story, and it's going to include 4 ladies. Their names are Emily, Eleanor, Claire, and Lily. And let's just say they lived in North Carolina. So Emily has this large oak tree in her yard, and the roots have been sinking deep into the soil. So it's been there for years. And she's heard stories from her grandmother about this tree. And this tree has witnessed generations of their family. The branches held secrets from people. It whispered tales of love, loss, and pain. Emily's grandmother, Eleanor, had survived World War II. She carried the weight of bombings, hunger, loss of loved ones, and anything else that comes with that type of trauma. And that trauma was steeped very deeply into her family's veins. And it was like ink that was sinking into parchment. Now, Eleanor's hands trembled as she recounted the horrors and passing them down to her daughter, which was Emily's mother. Emily's mother, Claire, grew up in the shadow of that tree, and she bore the scars of her mother's nightmares, the flashbacks, the sleepless nights, the memories that she was told. So Claire married young, and she was hoping to escape the past. But, as we know, trauma does not fade easily. And it clung to her like ivy and was twisting around her heart. She didn't understand why. And so as Emily entered adulthood, she felt the weight of something intangible, an ache that just did not belong to her alone. She wondered why her dreams were echoed with distant sirens and whispered cries. And that old tree seemed to call her, and its roots pulling her toward that buried pain. And as a lot of people do, Emily tried to repress and suppress those stories. We repress when we try to stop something from happening, but we suppress when something has already begun. And so repression operates outside of our conscious control. We may not even be aware that we are repressing certain emotions or memories. And so Emily then became a successful businesswoman, and she was driven by her ambition. But she noticed that all of her relationships never succeeded. They always crumbled. Her trust level was very low, and it always eluded her. It slipped through her fingers like sand. She wondered why she always flinched or was easily startled at sudden noises, and why her heart raced when someone raised their voice. So one day she was researching her family history, and she stumbled on letters that were hidden in an attic. Eleanor's trembling handwriting revealed stories of loss, resilience, survival, and Emily wept as she read that about her grandfather's sacrifice. And that was the trauma that etched into every word. So Emily sought therapy, and it was a journey back to the roots of this pain and this horror. And when she sat under that old tree, she had her journal in her hand, and she just wrote. She wept for Eleanor and for Claire and for herself. Now, that tree, of course, it was always taking in everything, and it listened. And the leaves rustled like whispered confessions. Generational trauma wasn't a curse, but it was an invitation to heal. And Emily vowed to break that cycle. She founded a support group for survivors who shared stories and found comfort and solace in their shared pain. And so this old tree became a sanctuary, and it witnessed their tears and their resilience. Now, Emily's daughter, Lily, she always played beneath that tree. She knew the stories. She heard the stories that shaped her family, but she also knew hope. Emily taught her that healing was possible and that love could mend fractured spirits and souls. And so the old oak tree just stood. Its roots were there, it intertwined with the past and the future. But Emily spoke to that tree and said, "Thank you for holding our pain. and we will now grow new leaves, resilient and unafraid. And so that story speaks to how generational and intergenerational trauma has significant effects on our physical and our mental health across and through our generations. And it's a complex issue, but awareness and intervention can help break that cycle. And healing from it involves addressing emotional and psychological impact. So our healing begins with acknowledging the roots and nurturing new growth.
Oh my gosh, I love and agree with so much that you said, Denyse, going back to the roots of the tree. Just by my childhood, you blame yourself. I could have done different. I should have said something. I should have done more, even though it all started when I was a baby, but you always want to blame yourself. You have to confront yourself before you can confront anyone else with it. It's the way I started.
You've got to acknowledge it, correct?
I had to look myself in the mirror and say, okay, am I going to crawl under the table and stay there like I have for so many years? Or am I going to go to the mountaintop and scream it out loud and heal? Now, I don't know. I know that there's some professional people here in this room right now that know about healing of the mind and all of that a lot more than I do. I just know my personal experience, not a professional experience. But I don't think you ever heal from trauma. You learn to cope with it. You mentally have confronted it. You have put all the things in place that you need so that you can carry on strong and continue to heal as you go. Mine started when I was a child. Am I completely healed? No. Sometimes I'll get furiated and the screaming tries to come out of my mouth that I was raised with. And just yesterday, I went through that. I was in Lowe's parking lot and Big Daddy got on my nerves and I almost screamed and I went, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It started counting because it took me a long time to even realize that I had issues, challenges, problems that I didn't realize I had until I moved out from my parents' home. So was that an eye awakening? Absolutely. So Denyse, in your professional opinion, am I thinking correctly? You never completely heal over trauma. You just continue to heal?
You made a good point, LaDonna. And that's one thing that we'll be talking about tomorrow in my grief and loss conference, because a lot of people don't realize when you have a significant loss in your life, you think that you can heal from it. However, there may always be triggers, and triggers will take you back to that time. It will make you feel some kind of way. You're going to feel some of the issues and emotions that you had at that time. However, you learn to adjust to them. And so how you react to those triggers is important. I lost my husband 9.5 years ago. I remember not being able to get out of the bed for 5 months. That was horrible, horrible. And through the years, I have had triggers. Can I think about him now? Can I live life and enjoy life? I can't. Do I still miss him? Absolutely. I miss him tremendously. But I've learned how to adjust to the loss. So you never really get past it. You never really heal from it, but you adjust to the loss. And that's, a lot of people don't really understand that, especially when you lose somebody. They might say, oh goodness, it's been 2 years. You're not over it yet?
Denise,
that-
I don't like it when people say that because everyone grieves differently from any kind of trauma, a loss, abuse, anything. Everyone grieves, I believe, differently. We're not all built the same.
Absolutely.
Think differently. It's just like the shape of our bodies. You'll never find the same shape in anyone. It's the same thing mentally and physically, I truly believe. And it's just about how we receive it, how we adjust.
How you receive it, how you process it, and how you react to it. Very important.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Who has questions, comments, concerns for Denyse? Tamara, come on down.
You already knew.
And I love it. I'm the same way, my friend.
Okay, so Denyse, I think I have dealt with my trauma from my past, but the problem is that once you deal with trauma, sometimes it seems like the trauma keeps coming back over and over again. Not per se that you remember it, but like one person abuses you, so then another one does, and then another one does. And it seems like that's the way it works. I have found that with me, I still yell. I do. I try my hardest not to, but I yell. And that is my biggest issue. I can't stand it. I cannot stand it, cannot stand it, cannot stand it. But if somebody yells at me, and I have a problem because my granddaughter likes to yell. So, and I live with her and I'm trying to raise her. She probably learned to yell from me and her dad. But the problem is when she yells at me, I want to yell back. And I can't do that. I just can't. And it breaks my heart every time I do it because then I say, okay, Tam, that was stupid. You did it again. So then, of course, I'm turning that negativity back to me, which I don't know. Anyway, that's just my story and I'm sticking to it, but that's the way it works. And I am trying my hardest to behave, but Dr. Denyse, I love talking to you.
Likewise, Miss Tamara. And I think what you're saying is that's part of how you react. If you find that you were abused and you find that you continue to run into people who abuse you, how are you presenting yourself to those people? You have to change who you are so that you don't attract those type of people. I've been through abuse in my life, and for a while, I was attracting those types of people who would seem to abuse me, but I don't react to that. I have pulled those emotions out. I have dealt with those emotions, and then I have set them to the side. Now, can I still get triggered? Absolutely. When somebody yells at me or raises their voice slightly, I'm like, hold on, let's start the conversation over, because that's not what I want to receive. That's not how I want to interact with people. So I had to learn how to change my boundaries and my perception and my perspectives so that I attract different people. And I'm happy to say today, June 13th, I can attract somebody different.
That's awesome. And Tamara, I want to add to the yelling and the screaming. Is counting really helps me when I start feeling like I'm going to lose control. Is that truly I am the only one that should control me. I should not let anyone else control me, no matter how much I love them or they love me. And when something gets, and it could be a little thing sometimes I want to scream about, but usually it's a lot of little things that adds up, is what I have figured out. It just keeps mounting. Is walk away until it's a better time. or count. I love my daughters the same. I have 2 grown daughters, love them the same, no more, no less, no favoritism, but they're completely different personalities. The oldest one is more like her daddy's personality, not exact, but more like his. She's right, she's right, she's right. I don't care what it is about, she is right. And, you know, I've learned not to argue with her, because when I argue with her, she doesn't want to talk to me for a while. And then I have to chase her down and hug on her and love on her and tell her that's not the way families react, you know, things like that. So I've learned to say, okay, I'm really busy, so I'll talk to you later. You know, or if she's with me, I will just, you know, excuse myself to go to the bathroom and take a very long walk around the house to the bathroom. You know, because it's like when I was raising my girls and they started dating and then they were married or not married, but they were with a guy and they were, he did this and then I'm like, is it something you can live with and you're willing to live with? If not, you better communicate with them. Communicate with them the way you're communicating with me, but in a softer voice and calmer. So sometimes having that outlet of talking to a friend or someone else, Tamara, call me, call Jen, call Grace, call Abby, call Trisha, Denyse, Kelly, Grace, and rattle off and just say, you know what? I just need to get this off my chest. And we will listen and then we'll hang up and then you can go torture the granddaughter. Because she's
Well, let me tell you.
very volatile age where she needs that role model to be cool and calm and in authoritize, but she does need to be reckoned with at the same time.
Yes.
Because
Well, let me tell you, when she stands there and I keep saying, no, 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 please, mom, please, please, please. I'm like, if you don't get out of my face, I'm not kidding.
I know. And, you know, you just have to remember she's not one of your soldiers. And the teenagers are just going to continue to rebel. You know, I mean, one of my daughters, I know you're going to think I'm horrible, but we believed in corporal punishment back in the day. And we did spankings, you know. Misty, I would spank her and she would look at me just as calm as can be and say, now do you feel better? Are we done here? And I would want to slap her in the head. Or if she would fail a test, she would say, well, what are we going to do about it now, Mom? My youngest daughter, Christy, why are you home late again? I don't know, Mom, what got into me. I just don't know. And go crawl up on Daddy's lap and just tell him, you know, how much she loved him and ooh. But let her sister get in trouble and the whole house would be cleaned in 10 minutes. The younger one would go clean the house because she knew, okay, Mom and Dad's not feeling good now. So what I'm telling you is they're all different. She's probably different than when you raised your sons because number one, she's a girl full of drama and times have changed. But once you lose your cool, I guarantee you, she's loving it. She's enjoying it and she's following your lead. And you don't want her to grow up and be a mommy that yells and screams. I yelled and screamed too much with my daughters. I will say my husband tried to help me get out of that. But when Misty would slam the door on my face or talk to me like she would do, I just wanted to punch her like a punching bag. I never did, but I had to learn. Shake your head if you have children like that. You have to learn to deal with them differently. And we just have to remember they're going to grow up to be mommies and daddies too, and neighbors, and you know, be our next chapter of our lives. So it's really important to keep your cool and calm. But it's not easy, is it? It is not easy. Jen, I'd like to hear from you. You've raised some boys by yourself for a while.
I did. And Tamara, I'll tell you two things that I did. And my boys were little, right? But I'm trying to raise men. And as a single
Oh, that sounds
mom,
just
that
like my
was,
Misty. Mom, I'm not raising 50
yeah,
girls. I'm raising men.
yeah. And I did. And I needed them to be good men, right? Like I needed them to be the opposite of the men that I was attracting, right? So two things that I did, and because I'm a yeller too, like my mom was a yeller, I'm a yeller. My mom was very physically abusive. I wasn't with my kids, and also because they were boys, and one day they would beat me up. But what I did is two things. Instead of saying like I don't want to be a yeller, I don't want to be angry, I don't want to be mad, I said, and this is before the mindset coaches came on board, right? This is long before everybody was a mindset coach. But I said, you know what? I want to present myself as happy. Like, I don't want them to see my stress. So I am going to be calm. I am going to have my shit together before before I'm ready to address these issues. I am going to be happy. I am going to be loving. I am going to be kind. And I would just make sure that before I lost it, I was in that mindset. The second thing that I did is I sat them down as men, and I was like, I need you to approach me this way because I don't want to yell and I don't want to be angry. So when you come at me, I need you to like come at me like this, right? And I need you to communicate. Don't raise your voice at me and I won't raise my voice to you. And neither of my boys are yellers. They are both very calm. My big kid especially, like he's, and I feel like had I not set those boundaries early, and they were earlier, so I know you have a teenager, my kids were much earlier. In fact, Ryan was like 6. But they're not yellers, right? And they're super calm. They're way calmer than I ever was, and their calmness actually helps me.
That is super. And you know what, Jen? It takes an army and it takes different ways. Neither one of my girls are yellers or screamers or hitters. They're Christy, the youngest one's a lot more loving, showing it than the older one. The older one does it a little bit different. She's been talking to them like men since they were like 5, like Jen said. But it takes an army and it takes figuring it out. You can't, if I would have grounded Misty to the room, she would have clapped her hands and yay, yay, yay. When I grounded her to a room, I had to unhook the TV, the stereo, everything, and take it out of her room because she loved her room. Ground Chrissy to her room and she was just a raving, crazy person. I just want to stay in my room. I want to be out here with you. I want to be, but they're different. So yes. Let's see, who do I want to call on next is Kelly. I don't know if I'm right or not, but don't you have like 2 families mixed together?
I do. My youngest stepson's birthday's tomorrow, so most of them will be here for dinner, but it's my 16-year-old granddaughter. You know what, Tamara, I listen to you. Mind you, Rachel is she knows who she is. She's very confident in that. But if the drama that child gives her mother and that I see we go through with her here, I bite my tongue so many times. But if that had been my daughter, her father would have killed her. She would never have gotten away with half of that. So I just sit back and I applaud my daughter. It's like, hey, it's better you than me. But yeah, the teenagers and they have so much more to deal with now than when we were younger. So there's all this social media and everything. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
You're right, Kelly. And I think the bullying has changed
100%,
so much. Like if you look back when you was a little girl, Grace, I'm going to go to Grace. because she's lived a long life, and she's been, she's been down the journey of raising kids and being married and all of that. The bullying back when you was a little girl is completely different today. Now, when you look back now, you'll see, oh my gosh, I was bullied. If you go in today's world, I was bullied back then, but we didn't call it bullying. But look how many scars that might have brought upon us, and we didn't even realize it. And now there's social media bullying, and that's hard to escape. It's one thing when you go to school and one class knows that you're being bullied, right? But imagine all of Facebook seeing you being bullied. Well, okay, it's not going to be all of Facebook, but it's going to seem like to a child, to a teenager, that the whole world now knows they're being bullied. So yeah, but Grace, I want to hear from you how what you think about the mental and surviving and raising children in today's world, and trauma just in itself.
By the time I had children, they were more like the age of what my grandchildren should be. And so there was so much kind of generation gap thing that it even though I took psychology in university, it still drives me crazy because of what happened in their public school, and I disagreed with it, but my husband agreed with it, and it's like I could do nothing about it. It was very just frustrating.
Yes, I mean, that's just and that's each generation I think we go through is that way. From the time, and I had my children, my first one came when I was 21. So a lot of people think, oh, that was too young, but it is what it is. But by the time I grew up, had Misty, the whole world had changed. It seemed like. And then Christy came 3 years later, and it was pretty similar, and I raised them, in the same era. But by the time we had grandchildren, and they came earlier than what I expected, whole different ball game, an entirely different ball game. And then the generation gap between the 3 oldest ones and the 5-year-old completely changed again. So I think, and Denyse, you tell me, I think that's trauma in itself for us being parents and grandparents, having to figure out the differences in the generation and their beliefs. I mean, in my eyes, teenagers are so lazy these days. And we did not help raise our grandchildren to be lazy. Now, don't get me wrong. Both of the 2 oldest boys work. Oh, Tyler just had his first day at his first job yesterday. But besides that, they're kind of lazy because they don't work like we did. And I don't want them really to work like we did either, because we work too hard. I worked too hard as a kid. I was forced to. I don't want them to work that hard. Yeah. So I'd like to hear from Trisha. She's a mental nerd. She's a mental nerd.
I have an extremely interesting experience with bringing up children. I have been a parent myself since I was 16. I actually started helping my mother raise foster children when I was 6.5, and our first foster child was addicted to heroin. So he came to us as an infant. So I helped her wean him off of heroin at 6.5 years old. So I don't know, I think I was just destined to do what I do. But, I had my son 2 months after I turned 17. I did it on purpose. I could feel my body saying, hey, right, this is your opportunity. And it was right, because it was my only opportunity. I lost 2 after him. and then lost all the parts after that. But my husband had 4 children, 2 of which were the same age of the ones that I lost. Anyway, we've been together now, I don't know, since the youngest, who is now 27, since he was 9 months old. And so we have children, we have adult children that range from 43 to 27, and then grandchildren from 16 to 2, 5 grandchildren ranging from 16 to 2. So I was a grandma at 38. And you know, so it's just really interesting to see how it has changed over time. Super engaged with my son as a young mom, like, you know, just always there. As I got older, and with all 5 of them there, and my husband traveling, as a stay-at-home mom, there was a lot of rigidity that I noticed I picked up from my upbringing, right? My conditioning. And it was more of a, you know, do what you're told, you know, not do as I say, not as I do, kind of thing. And I really had no patience or tolerance for the challenging that teenagers do, right? The pushback, you know, and I was ill-equipped for that. And it was a struggle, but I didn't spank. I had ones that, you know, I loved being sent to their room. I had others that, you know, would throw tantrums. Like, I know my oldest daughter, who's also a cancer survivor, you know, one day, you know, she just really didn't like what I had to say. I mean, we were passing each other on the stairs, and she tossed a shoulder at me. And it was all I could do, you know, like literally into my body to not like punch her back, right? Because I'm German, Irish, Scottish, Sicilian, Taurus, born on the cusp of Gemini. I'm a first, a last, and only, and a middle child. Really interesting, you know, growing up. So I could get scrappy with the rest of them, or the best of them. And so it became difficult in certain periods. Our oldest one, who was born when I was 11, obviously not my child, you know, he really struggles with, you know, addiction, bipolar and alcohol use. And he started that at 17. So, you know, I was trying to learn how to navigate that. And, you know, there were times my husband would be traveling, I'd have to kick him out of the house. That wasn't easy, you know? So it's really interesting now that I've made this shift and this transition 11 years ago, how much my adult children have changed and shifted and grown, but also how much they, you know, our relationships have changed, like leading by the example of living in emotional intelligence. And I, you know, say that to keep it, you know, brief as far as the explanation, but it's allowed them to come and ask me questions about their own bringing up of their own children.
Yeah.
And it's helped shape their, you know, their decisions to homeschool. The oldest one goes to public, 3 are being homeschooled. The other one, he's traveling the world. They're living in England right now. They're actually on a cruise right now. He's 5. He's bilingual, all the things, right? Like they're all just kind of, you know, doing their own really cool version. And it's amazing. And I don't know, right? Like I could talk about parenting forever.
Ever and ever.
Literally consumed my whole life.
Yes. But you know what I really love what you said, Trisha, the main thing that I truly, absolutely love, emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that. We should all remember that. Have your emotional intelligence ready.
You got to know what it is, and you got to know how to. And a lot of people come to me all the time. Hey, I have emotional intelligence, right? Like I've got the emotional intelligence down, and I'm like, do you really? Right? Because if you did, the people over there that are saying boo about your whatever wouldn't affect you. Like people could call me the ugliest thing on the planet, and I'd be like, cool. I'm sorry that that's your experience with me, but I'm good, right? Like I'm cool. I don't care. You don't have to give me a thumbs up if you don't like what I have to say. You don't like how my brain works. You don't like how I function. That's cool. I get it. I'm an acquired taste. Like, all right. Like that's okay. Yeah. So, you know, people don't know how to effectively describe their emotions. Walking around saying, I'm good, I'm happy.
Perfectly said that. Yes.
You know, it's just way deeper than most people. Because we weren't taught. I mean, we weren't taught. And in the 70s what emotional intelligence was, right?
Right, exactly.
Like, you sweep it under the rug, keep it inside the house, put on your best face, make sure you're color coordinated, your hair is done, and then you can leave the house and make sure everybody thinks that we have like this golden life behind these doors. And mom, anyway.
Yes. So let's hear from Dar. Dar, do you have any questions for Miss Denyse, or have anything to say about what she's been talking about with trauma and how to prepare yourself better?
Not really a question, but my situation is that I have no children, and the only thing I can really relate it to is growing up with my brothers, which were three of them and one of me. And everybody else thought that they were teasing me and so on and so forth, kind of bullying me. So everywhere we went, or everywhere we moved to, and I started a new school, my trauma was that I was being extremely bullied, especially in high school. So this has caused, I believe that's what's caused a memory block, a very serious memory block. And I think that's how I dealt with everything, because I really I can remember some things, but a lot of the things I can only remember, but I'm not sure if I remember them because my mom tells me about it or if I remembered it on my own, right?
So Denyse, I want to ask you on that cue, I want to ask you, Denyse, I know for me, as I heal myself, I start thinking, I don't know why, and I'll go, oh, that's where I got that scar from. Didn't remember it for all these years. And as I heal, it comes up. Is that part of the healing process, you think?
It is, because you have to implement certain techniques in order to go back and process the memories that you don't even know that you have.
Yes.
And so, and I wanted to ask Dar, do you think that there are any residual emotions right now that may come from some things that you can't remember?
From time to time, yes. Especially,
and that's why, yeah.
Yeah, especially if I'm not keeping myself busy with my cards or doing, whatever housework I can manage to do. With all the pain and health issues I got, LaDonna knows what I'm going through with the fibromyalgia and all that other stuff too. So as long as I can keep myself busy, I'm good. But otherwise, I sleep. I just sleep it off. And I think that's also sleeping off the hurt and stuff from those memories.
And as we do that, as we sleep it off, as we just block it out, as we avoid, what we're doing is repressing and suppressing. And if you want to move past that point, you have to dig those things up, deal with them so that you can process them and move forward. Will it hurt? Will it cause you more pain? Of course. It's just like a physical wound. If that wound has infection in it, you got to debride it, get the infection out so that it can heal properly. So I always say that there are different emotions that we deal with. We don't even know where they're coming from. Why am I always depressed? Why am I always anxious? Why am I always angry? A lot of times it comes from things that we are not aware of and we don't remember. And if we want to move past those emotions, we've got to figure out where they come from.
Yeah, that's I agree, Denyse. You don't know everything that's in that mental back office, as I call it, until it comes, and then you have to heal it. It's not instant. Abby, we haven't heard from you. What do you have to say about what we've talked about today? Any questions for Denyse?
No, I have no questions. I was very fortunate in my situation. My parents were very opposite to their parents. So we had a very good upbringing, and I was able to make my daughter's upbringing as best I can. So luckily, there's been no trauma in all that.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
And-
Abby. You're blessed.
Can I just say, can somebody let me know whether I said happy birthday to Abby or to Dar?
I think you said it to Addie.
That's what I thought. That's what I
I'm
thought. I'm
pretty
so
sure-
sorry. I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
it's Addie and I are hip to hip.
But it's your birthday. Happy
It's
birthday.
my birthday. Her
Happy
birthday's
birthday
a
to
month from
Dawn.
now.
Yes. This has been
1
an
month.
awesome Throwback
Can I add
Thursday
one quick
version.
thing?
Thank you so much, Denyse. I'm going to put a picture of all of us that I took, and it's going to go into the chat right now. Please go
LaDonna?
to your social media and tell people about what you heard, what you seen, what you believe in, what you agree with, what was so emotional for you today. I have been told, if anyone can tell me, that our Facebook membership group closed the same time that I was hacked. Has anyone noticed?
No.
Okay, well, we have created a new one that we will be inviting you to, because I cannot access that membership group. That is why I have all of our videos put in more than one place. I use YouTube for storage for all of our videos. So thank goodness that's that. And I also have them in the cloud. So, so when you get a notice to come into the group, you'll know that it's because of Facebook being craziness. So, all right. So thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Have a great weekend. Monday, I'm having my left eye surgery on Monday. They're removing 2 spots and a cataract. So I will be out probably most of the day Monday.
Oh, okay, Monday.
Yes.
We'll
So,
move.
Trisha, I was going to say we might want to move our appointment. They just called me this morning and moved it. And so it was supposed to be Wednesday. Now they moved it to Monday, and I just want to get it done so I don't have to worry about it anymore.
No worries. I sent you in Messenger what I need from you.
Okay.
So that I can complete the newsletter, and that'd be the only other thing. And I'll have that draft up for you today if you want to set up next week's email to go out already. So you don't have to worry about it on Tuesday. And then we can just as long as we meet before the holiday, it's fine.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Have a splendid next couple of days.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.